Hi everyone. In last class we have seen introduction to pointers like declaration, initialization and how to access variable with pointers. Now in today's session we'll see how to pointers and functions. Pointers and functions. Here pointers and functions means how passing arguments to the functions. See, when we pass an arguments to the functions, there are two ways. One is call by value and another one is call by reference. Call by value and call by reference. Here call by value means calling the function by passing values as arguments. Call by reference means calling the function by passing references as arguments. So these two concepts I'll explain with one small example, swapping of two variables. Swapping of two variables. Now we'll see the program swapping of two values using function. So we'll see first how we'll call the function by call by value. So when we want to define a user defined function, first we need to declare a function here. So here the function won't return anything. So I am keeping the return type as void. Function name I am taking it as swap. And this function takes two arguments int. So this is known as function prototype or declaration. Now defining the main function. In main function, I am having two values, a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. Now, I want to swap these a and b values using the function swap function. Before swapping, I want to print the values of a and b. Therefore, printf a and b values before swapping. So here I'll print a and b values like this. A is equals to percentile d B is equals to percentile D, A comma B. After printing, I'll call a function swap A comma B. After swapping, I want to print again A and B. A and B values after swap. Now here printf A is equals to percentile D, B is equals to percentile D, A comma B, and close. So this is the function call by passing values as arguments. Okay, so same thing, the function definition we'll see by executing the program here. So I am taking here two variables. Before that, we need to define the function here. Void swap int comma int. So you have taken two variables, A equals to 10, B equals to 20. So print the A and B values before swapping. A and B values before swapping. Printf A equals to percentile D, A comma B. Now you are printing the A and B before. Now I want to call a function swap. See here we are calling a swap function. See the statement. Calling a swap function by passing A and B. So this is known as call by value because we are calling a function using the values. Now after swapping, I want to print again A and B values. Now function call completed. Now we need to define a function. So define swap function void swap int x comma int y. Now x is storing A, y is storing B. In order to swap the values, I use one temporary variable temp int temp and we'll initialize that temp equals to x, x equals to y, y equals to temp. Okay. So we swapped the function, we call the swap function and after swapping again we are printing the A and B values. We'll check whether the function swapped or not the variables. See here, what are the A and B values before swapping? A is equals to 10, B equals to 20. And again A and B values after swapping also, A equals to 10 and B equals to 20. Is it swapped? No. Why it is not swapped, we'll see now. We'll see the differentiation here. See, A and B values before swapping, A equals to 10, B equals to 20. A and B values after swapping also same values. It doesn't change. Why it doesn't change, we'll see now. See here, we defined a function like this. See here, we have two functions, main, right? And one more function, swap. Main function is having two variables A and B. A, B. A value is 10. B value is 20. Now, in swap function, we have x and y and one temporary variable temp. Now, main called the swap function by passing two values 10 and 20. This 10 will sit in x and this 20 will sit in y, right? Now, when as soon as the function call comes, this one, the control comes to here. In that, what is the first statement? Temp created. Now, what is there here? Temp equals to x. What is x? 10. That was copied in temp. Next, x equals to y. X value is copied with y. X equals to 20. Y equals to temp. Y is copied with temp and y value is 10. Now, see, here it is swapped, but original values are not swapped because x and y values are the copies of a and b, right? Then we are changing only x and y, not a and b. So it doesn't affect. That's why the values of a and b are not swapped. So by this we can conclude that in call by value, so I think you know what are formal and actual arguments. Here a and b are actual arguments and this x and y are formal arguments, right? Now, in call by value, change in formal arguments. Change in formal arguments does not affect the actual arguments, right? So here, then if we'll call by reference, when we call by reference, what will be the original values? We'll see now. Now, when you are calling by reference means, we are calling a swap function by reference. That means by passing the address. So, address of A, address of B. This is a call. When it is called, at the time of definition, two variables will store these addresses, right? If you want to store these addresses, the argument should be of pointers. Therefore, now swap function prototype will be swap void swap int pointer comma int pointer. Why pointers as an arguments? Because at the time of call, we are passing addresses. So there is only a variable that is known as pointer variable to store the address. Okay. So we'll see now when the call is by address. So here function should be declared as pointer. So at the time of passing the A and B, address of A, address of B. Now as you are passing address, it should be pointer, point. So temp is equals to pointer x equals to pointer y is equals to pointer 10. So if you execute the program, see here, swapped. A and B values before swapping, A is equals to 10, B equals to 20. A and B values after swapping, it was swapped. A value is 20 and B value is 10. We'll explain this with the diagrammatic format so that it will be easy understandable by you. See here. Again here we have two functions. Main and one swap function. Main is having two variables A and B, and swap is having two variables X and Y. So it is having addresses, Y is also having addresses. Okay. Now in A value is 10, in B value is 20. Now main is calling the swap function by passing the addresses, not values. Now X is storing 100, Y is storing 200. And in swap we declared one variable temp. Right? And for that temp, what they declared, temp is equals to pointer X. Pointer X means 100. Value at this 100 is what? 10. So temp is equal to how much? 10 now. Okay, next. Pointer X is equals to pointer Y. Pointer X means value at the address of 100 should be equals to value at the address of Y. Now what is the value at the address of Y? 20. See, this 20 is assigned in memory location directly. Now here it will change and the value is 20. Next. Now to the next statement, pointer Y. Pointer Y is equals to temp. And that means pointer at address Y ante 200 is equals to temp. So value at this address is equals to temp. What is temp is having? 10. Now it is changed and 10. That means when you are calling the function by reference, it directly changing the values at that address. Now A and B values are changed. So by this we can conclude that in call by reference, the change in formal arguments will affect the change in actual arguments. Okay. So this is about the call by value and call by reference. Now we'll see the concept, a small concept here, pointer to pointer. Now, see, if you declare a variable A and one pointer variable P, now P is assigned with an address of A. That means the pointer is pointing to a normal variable. See, as soon as this statement comes, internally what it will do, we'll have one A and we'll have one P with some address, some 1000 and 220 like that. Okay. Now A is having the value 10. Assume that A is equals to 10 and A is equals to 10. Now P is having the address of A 1000. Now can I store 2020? Here 2020 is nothing but what? Address of a pointer. Now if you want to store the address of pointer variable, we should declare a pointer as double pointer. That means pointer P1. Now I can assign for P1 is equals to address of P, because double pointer or pointer to pointer means a pointer pointing to pointer pointing to one more pointer. If it is single pointer, double means this one. If it is single pointer, it is a pointer pointing to variable. Okay, so we'll see int a is equals to 10, p1, p2. Now I'll assign for p1 address of a and I'll assign for p2 address of p1. So a, p1, p2. p1 assigning a, p2 assigning p1. Now it is 100, 200, 300 and a equals to 10. P1 is equals to 100. P2 is equals to 200. Now a gives 10, ampersand a gives 100, P1 gives 100, P1 gives 100, P2 gives 200. Now pointer P1, that means pointer address of A. Value at this address of A, 10. Next. Pointer P2. Pointer, what is P2? 200. Value at this 100 how much? 100. Value at this 100 how much? 10. So we'll see this concept with an execution here. This concept sometimes we can also call as chain of pointers. See, when you're printing the A with A, it is giving 10, and P1 is address of A, pointer P1 it is giving 10, P2 will give address of P1, and pointer P2 it is giving 10. So this is known as chain of pointers. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.